Hello everyone, my name is Gamal, this is Professor Valdir Rodrigues. We today guys are going to work on passing ways to pass the De La Riva guard. Okay? We know the De La Riva guard is a very traditional, very common guard in Jiu-Jitsu. It's a very popular guard, and we are going to approach few points, few aspects of how to deal, how to balance ourselves and find a solid base on top, and then try to pass the guard. Get rid of the legs and go to side control position. Okay? But first, it's always important, guys, and necessary to speak about the concept and the idea of the guard. Okay? In Jiu-Jitsu, guard is every time that we are on the bottom and we are able to work with our legs. Okay? So whether you are working with placement, as professors do now, just blocking the hips, blocking eventually my arms, or when he has a retention, partial retention, half guard, full retention here, the close guard, work with the hooks as the nature of the De La Riva guard. So the intention here, guys, is work defensively, because our guard here by nature is defensive. We try to protect our positions and eventually work on some attacks. So remember, guys, that every time that you are developing your guard, in another process here to make your guard more solid, always pay important and essential attention, guys, to your defense, okay? Retention, control, mobility. Always understand that those two essential aspects of the guard, retention and mobility, okay? More retention, less mobility, more mobility, less retention, okay? So if you have the less retention we have, we need more mobility. We have to find more angles. If you have more retention, actually that we can reduce a little bit of mobility. Of course, that it's always super important because it's a game of actions and reactions, okay? All right, so now let's speak about our De La Riva guard. So De La Riva guard is one type of guard, open, okay? So see that my partner will be a partial retention, and his retention is going to be based on placement, where he has one hook behind of my knee and commonly work on holding the leg, okay? Why? Because he's trying here to isolate my leg, to control my leg. The opposite foot, he can work on placing my hips, control the distance, he can eventually hook. So there are different ways to work. So see that it's a type of guard that's super versatile and gives us opportunity to work on many different developments, okay? So partner has one hook behind of my knee and the other foot blocks the hips, okay? This foot is important, of course, retention, but this one is also super important because he's able to control the distance and prevent myself from advancing and getting too close to him, okay? My way to work on top. First, as I know that my partner is eventually aiming to go to my back, when he rotates around here and forces to step, I'll be trying here in the primary moment to be facing my partner, okay? And facing my partner is not only, of course, looking at him, but trying here to bend my knees first. So I'm not going to advance to the guard here with my legs fully extended. I'm trying to bend my knees. See that I'm trying to plant my base, try to be heavier, and hand contact, okay? So the contact of my hands will be primarily with the legs, okay? So I'll be holding here my partner's knee from inside and constantly pushing it down the ground. Why? Because he needs the adjustment here on his foot, right? So if I push his leg down to the ground, naturally that I make that contact a little bit more vulnerable, and that's positive for me, okay? Why? It becomes easier to break free, okay? So I push here, and the other hand, of course, remains on the leg. See that? My knee also, I try here to turn my knee to the outside. So see that the more I get here to turn my knee to the outside and point to my partner's knee, the easier it becomes here to get rid of the hook. So 1 and 2, okay? So see that now I'm much lower than before. I was eventually approaching the guard here, standing, but then, boom, I changed my level and my knee points to the outside. My hand now, as I want to get close to him and understand that there are many ways to deal with this guard, with more mobility, more space therefore, or inferior level of mobility and more control, we today work with more control, more pressure, okay? So I'm trying here to be more methodical. So I'll be pushing here, and as I want to get close to him and I know that this foot is very important, I'm trying to get rid of this foot and advance. So here, one, I will push the shin. So why do I push the shin? Close to the foot, okay? Because if I want, for example, to push his leg by pushing by the knee here, I can easily extend it and get it back. But if my option here is pushing the shin, I can drive the foot here easily, okay? So I turn, push one, and advance. So see that as I advance and I want to be heavier, and I want to close the distance, I will squat down and I'll be basically sitting on my partner's foot, on my partner's hook. Okay? So again, So here, one, pushing constantly, my knee points to the outside. Again, 1 and 2. See that? Short step, 1 and 2, boom, sit down. Sit down here, see that? My partner is no longer working with the hook, okay? And I will be now seated on his foot, much heavier than before. See that gradually I'm lowering my level, try to be as low as possible in order to be as heavy as possible as well. And grips, that's a very crucial point. Why? Because my partner is reactive, so he doesn't want to see myself getting closer and closer and closer. He want to try here to repel and push me back. Okay, so what I want here, as soon as I push and advance, boom, both hands to the gi. Okay, so I'm going to hold both of my partner's collars. Why? Because again, as I know that he'll be eventually pushing and try to regain that space, because I'm closing the distance, he needs to push. I'll be holding and creating a counterweight. See that I hold and I try here to bring his shoulders off of the ground. So see that I squeeze our elbows close here, boom, okay, and I pull my partner's shoulders off of the ground, trying to gradually here make his defense vulnerable. Okay, that's very, very important, guys. When you are trying to pass a guard, when you're dealing against any type of guard, you are always looking for, guys, gradually creating vulnerabilities. You are always trying to create those weak points where you can eventually capitalize. Okay, so reducing mobility, make your partner deal with the grips that are stopping him from moving, bringing his legs or his body here to a position where his defense is no longer available. He will have to rely on some sort of a physical attribute, explosiveness, flexibility, power. So I will hold and pressure. See that I'm very tight here, okay, elbows closed. Now what I want, the only point here that my partner has of substantial retention is the grip, the hand, okay? So what I want in this point here, knee is against my chest. I can use my hand, but I can use my shoulder, and I drive it to the side. I want to get his legs, both legs together. And my movement, I'm not going to advance forward. I will move sideways, okay? So this thing here, look, 1, and I can use my hand, I push, and I drive it to the side, to the side. See that? By moving to the side, that grip that was useful first, now became a problem. Because for him to keep that hand now becomes, first, cannot really push me there and create a space. Second, becomes uncomfortable. So that's my goal. I'm not going to fight to pass to the other side, but I'm trying to smash that grip and break or make that grip super uncomfortable for him, and he will eventually have to let go and push me back. Okay, so again, so here, push 1, 1, 2, boom. Okay, again, remember, squeeze my elbows, I pull my partner's shoulders off of the ground, and he's unable to really push me off here and escape. What I want, let's advance. Again, if the knee here is here, center line of my chest, perfect. I can use my shoulder, right? But if not, he's heavy there, I can use my hand, boom, then I move. See that? By the moment that I start moving and I have his shin here against my opposite shoulder, in this case here, against the shoulder here, following the side where I have the hand on the lapel, I can even grab the belt. Then I move. And see that I'm not going to move here, forward. I move to the side, boom, okay? I'm aiming to get my knee on the floor, but if I don't put my knee on the floor, there's no problem, okay? Right, so I reach here a point where I have both of his legs close together. My grip here is on the belt. My shoulder is heavy against his chest, okay? And what we need now here, guys, we need to free our legs. So what I want, my opposite leg here, this case here, my left leg. I bring my leg here. I bring my leg here, guys, behind of my partner's butt. So I bring here 1, and see that, my hand, can I use my hand on his knee? I can. So I'm going to step out, bring the hand to the knee. I can try to sprawl here, and I just go to side control position. Okay? So again. So here, first step, remember that approaching the guard demands what? Change your level, face your partner. Constantly handing the legs, knee points to the outside. So, 1, knee points to the outside, holding the shin. Remember that I'm going to deal with the foot. I'm not going to push the knee or try to grab the pants. I push the shin, whoop, boom, advancing. Again, I started higher, I'm now going lower. hold the lapel. Why? I know that he's trying to push me off here. If I do not grab anything there, he will break my balance and I have to reset. Or even worse, sometimes he even gets a sweep. So, 1 and 2. Elbows closed. See that I'm tight here on top. Again, if I can bring my partner's shoulders off of the ground, fantastic. Okay, so 1 and what I want. Now moving to the side. Remember that. Knee, chest, opposite shoulder or eventually center line. Actually, center line, I use my shoulder. Opposite shoulder here, guys, I can use my hand. I drive it to the center line or to the opposite side. Perfect. I can use my whole body here to drive it to the side, already holding the belt. Okay, so here, 1, 2, and remember that it's a lateral movement. Okay, we are not going to move forward. I move to the side, move to the side, move to the side, boom, smashing. See that the grip is no longer there. What I need here, bring my knee, opposite leg, behind of the butt, I sprawl, I free my leg. Then push the legs close together and we conclude the guard pass. One more time. Oh yeah. So pushing that constantly, knee goes to the ground for 1, 2, knee goes to the side, sorry. And again, advancing, squatting, grab the collar, shoulders off of the ground, elbows close here. We are strong, we are trying to engage. Now, again, preserve the side of the hook, the grip. The other side, I can use my hand to push, center line. Belt, move laterally, laterally, laterally here. Boom, bring my knee close behind of his butt. I can sprawl, free the leg, hand goes the knee. Why? I can keep his legs close together and jump around, going to side control position, okay? So see that, the whole idea, guys, again, we must be methodical. We must work with pressure and gradually trying to be as low as possible, okay? See that, the more patient and the more pressure we implement, the easier it becomes. Why? Because even if I do not work that perfect sequence, I'm creating scenarios where my partner will eventually overreact. Because he's not going to accept that easily. He's not going to accept my progression and just wait for me to pass the guard. He will eventually try to, turn or maybe work some push or maybe hip escape. And based on that movement, if his position is already vulnerable, my chances of capitalizing on any other movement, going straight to mount sometimes or taking the back, are much more relevant. Okay? So remember, guys, the idea of passing guard goes definitely, guys, through what? Creating vulnerabilities. You must create a scenario where your partner feels that previous grip is not good enough anymore, that previous position is no longer useful, he needs to readjust. Once he feels that he's vulnerable, naturally, you are maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead. Your progression becomes much, much better, okay? All right, so that was our first step. We were passing the guard and understanding that we were implementing more pressure, more control. The second movement remains the same. The idea, again dealing with my partners, de la Riva, and see that the way that I'm going to approach the guard is the same. Okay, again, I'm trying to make the grips, I'm trying to be as low as possible, but now, look that, I will try here to advance my knee through the guard. I want to put my knee on the floor, okay? So again, same thing there, he's holding, see that I'm contacting the legs, pushing to the side, turn my knee here, and see that in this situation here, again, the headquarters will be the same, 1 and 2, and I grab it, okay? So see that, again, I reach the exact same position than before, same thing. I grab the lapel, I pull, elbows closed. Now what I want, my movement now will be, I will drive my knee straight forward to the ground. Okay, so you see that even I know that the frame is heavy on my chest. I know perfectly that. So I'm not really fighting to smash the leg now. I'm not trying to put his leg against his chest. I'm trying to put that knee on the floor, and I know that he will eventually move his hips. Why? Because he needs to regroup. He needs to refine, to find again that a position that offers an opportunity to be strong defensively. So I will put my knee on the floor. Boom, 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 boom. Same thing, and now he's already turning, okay? And whether he gets his knee up here or knee down, the approach remains the same. And see that now my knee is on the floor, okay? So I will really try here to get my knee on the floor. So again, pushing 1 and 2, the approach remains the same, knee points to the outside, I try to get rid of the hook. Hold the lapel, squeezing, okay? Again, I will advance, but see that as I advance, my knee leads. Knee leading, boom, knee to the ground, boom. Okay, I step out. I know that my partner will try to frame. I'm trying here to keep his knee up here. That's totally natural, okay? So in this situation here, look, we have basically two potential outcomes. First, if the leg's down here, like this, his thigh basically is against my chest, I can work on smashing the legs in a very similar fashion if you compare to the previous one. I can grab the belt here, I'm going to smash here, and again, elbow over, or I can just bring my hand to his knee, and I jump to the back. Okay? Again. From here, 1, 2, grab here and advance, boom, 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 even go to the ground. I clear my leg completely. I can even drop all the on the ground as well. Okay? Again, leg close together, nice. You can drop the chest, hold the belt, smash, and we pass. Okay, same thing, basically the same result as before. But 1, 2, squeezing, advancing, and I reach this position, but my partner has knee up. Okay? He's playing his similar to the knee shield. Okay, so what I do here, I preserve here the collar, my hand goes to the belt, but now what I do, I'm going to elevate my level a little bit, and my knee comes through the guard. I want to cross my knee and I want to drop my knee on the floor. Okay, so basically, I'll be floating here on his chin, floating here, then I cross, boom, cross my knee. As I cross my knee, there's a moment to drop on the floor, pivot. See that I'm not going to advance from this point, okay? I will try here to pivot, hug the neck, down, opposite hand goes to the pants. Why? Because that leg is the replacement. My partner will be trying to replace the guard by bringing the opposite leg back. So I hold it, sprawl, and side control position. Okay? Again. Go here. Go 1, 2, boom. Again, same thing. So see that, I squeeze my elbows. Now remember, your leg leads. So knee on the ground. Go advancing there, and knees on the floor. See that? I preserve the grips. My partner has knee here, working his knee shield. And what I do now, remember, leg is down, you can smash it. Leg is up, becomes difficult to smash. My partner is really committing to with the frame. I will try here to bring that knee across. So again, briefly here. So hand goes to the belt. I will float up, floating a little bit. 1 and 2. Okay. So my knee goes to the ground, and now I can pivot. Again, I'm not going to advance here, right? I will preserve. I pivot up. Okay, like going to side control but with the leg under control. Okay, then I just hug the neck, hold the pants, sprawl, and we conclude our guard pass. Okay, one time. Yeah, 1 and 2. Grab here. Remember that my leg will lead now. See that I'm not really even trying here to put my chest here. I can, of course, there's no problem, right? But my priority is knee on the floor. Oh, okay, both knees. Knees up here. Again, 1, floating, cross. Pivot, hug the leg, sprawl, and pass. Okay? Alright, so see that. First and second movements based on the same idea. Okay, we again try to gradually be as low as possible. Okay? And based on the idea that being, of course, low and with our knees as close to the ground demands what? Patience and inch by inch methods. Okay, so we must be very methodical. My partner is reactive. My partner, if I offer an inch, that's what he wants. He wants those like little space to really like re-engage his hips, re-engage his defense, and work on potential counter. And of course, when dealing with a good guard player, the process must be longer. Okay, we are not going to overtake, we are not going to ignore any step. Okay, all right, now we can work on one more movement, and the approach now is a little bit different. Okay, different in terms of control, but the idea again remains the same, right? So again, I'll be working on same thing. See that for all of the 3 movements I'm facing my partner. Okay, can I eventually work with the long step? Of course I can, right? We have barriers, we have many ways to deal with the position. So 1, 2, and see that this situation here, look, again, 1 and 2, advancing here, I grab, but now see that I will preserve here the side of the frame. Okay, so I preserve the side of the frame, and the opposite arm goes where? goes under my partner's leg here, okay? So I can try here to bring it to my shoulder, and then I make the grip there, okay? So again, we advance here to the same position as before, same thing. 1, 2, and we grab here, okay? So same thing now, but with the leg over the shoulder. And now, what I want here, look that, in this situation here, I basically create here 2 ways to work, okay? We can work on stepping to the side and bringing our knee across, okay? So then, we combine here with the knee cut. So see that, 1, see that there is no risk for triangle or anything like that. Why? Because my knee is on the way, I'm seated on my partner's hook, okay? So I can step here 1 and cut here, and then once I cut, what I want. See that I will only advance, and in this situation here, as I have both grips on the shoulders, I don't need to do anything else. I will just try here to advance with my knee. Then we conclude our guard pass. Okay? Again. 1, 2. Grabbing the lapel. Again, now I preserve the side of the frame, and I try here to bring the opposite leg here to my shoulder. Boom. Again, what I want, I step to the side here, and I bring my leg across. I bring my leg across. Remember, as I have those both grips next to the shoulder, I'll be just trying here to drive here, put my knee on the floor, and we conclude here our guard pass. Okay? So here, 1, 2, grab the collar. Remember that that's our headquarters. Okay, my partner will be reactive here, so we create the situations. So 1, 2, boom. Again, step to the side, bring my knee inside here, and gradually across, dropping it, and we pass. Okay? All right, so we worked on 3 ways to deal and to balance ourselves, to find a way to pass our De La Riva guard, understanding that there are always many ways to deal with the same movements, the same type of guard. I can put more movement, more space, more pressure, be more methodical, be faster, be slower. So the idea is, guys, to be as versatile as possible, okay? Because the more weapons you have, the more techniques that you are familiar with you have available, the better it becomes, okay? Because then you can even mix up. You can even like mix up more pressure with more speed, like sometimes even like more mobility. So you become more well-rounded, okay? So now let's recap all the movements that we worked today, okay? All of them based on the same idea of approach and different naturally executions, although similar concept, okay? So first one, remember that we started here. De La Riva, remember that. My intention was, I would face my partner, pushing the legs, constantly turning my knee to the outside. Why? Because I know that grip, the hook is very important. Retains my leg, plus of course the grip. So again, we push there, gradually pushing the foot by the shin, squatting down, both grips, both lapels under control. So hold it tight, squeeze your elbows. First one, we were preserving the side here, eventually preserving the side of the hook, and using the other hand against the knee, okay? But depends on the position of the shin. If the shin is against my chest center line, perfect. But if not, let's use the hand. So push, move laterally. Remember that hand goes the belt. I move laterally here, boom, 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 boom. The grip is no longer there, or maybe there, but again becomes totally ineffective, useless. So hand goes the belt. I bring my knee behind of the butt. I sprawl. I open, finish. Free my leg, going to side control. That's the first one. Second one, similar approach. So we were pushing one, advancing, squatting. Now remember that I'm going to lead with my leg here, side of the hook. So I will try to put my knee on the floor. So I go, boom, knees on the ground. Again, if the legs are close together, smash it, and we reproduce the dynamic of the previous one. But if not, my partner keeps his shin up here, very heavy. So I preserve here, remember that. Hand remains there. I'm going to float. Hand goes the belt. Knee goes across. I drop it on the floor and I pivot. Hug the neck, hold the pants, sprawl, and I pass. Okay? And finally, again, same approach, push, 1, 2, grabbing. Remember, the headquarters for 3 movements, It's the same approach. But now we preserve the side of the lapel, hand goes under the leg, and I bring it over my shoulder, okay? See that, there's no risk for a triangle. Why? Because I'm sitting on my partner's foot and my knee's on the way, okay? So then what I do here, I move to the side, I step to the side, bring my knee across. As I bring my knee across, I start working the knee cut. As you have both grips to the shoulders, I don't need to work on anything else. So just keep it, hit the floor, and we conclude our guard passing, okay? So see that all of the movements, all 3 movements based on the same idea. And again, guys, there are always many different concepts, many different ideas, and of course, the more you know, the more versatile you become, the better, because then you can mix up, and naturally, guys, your whether sweeps, guard passing, submissions will be much more possible, I would say, because you are going to have many more options, okay? All right, guys, so thank you very much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this class, and see you next time on the mat. Os!